First up is Gyo by Junji Ito. It's about this couple who, at the start of the story, are staying in the beach house that belongs to one of their uncles. And then it smells awful, it smells like death, but this fish just ends up scurrying around on legs. And it's very, very fast and very difficult to kill, and its legs are kind of sharp to where it can hurt you pretty easily. And then a bunch more show up. I'm not going to say too much more beyond that. Visually interesting. Story kept me reading. At times it was visually grotesque, but it came off more just humorous or over the top than like you going the whole time. And then I had a couple bonus stories in the back. One of them is only like 4 pages long, and I found it incredibly funny. I don't know if everyone will. I just have a weird sense of humor. And then the other one is called The Enigma of Amigata Fault, which I'd wanted to pick up that story for a long time because I saw one image of it floating around on the internet, and if I can throw it up, I will. So you can see why I would want to read that. And there's a smudge. I don't like that. Anyway, I was really excited to get my hands on that short story, and overall, interesting. I haven't read, I suppose, enough Junji Ito to know if it's his best or his worst or anything, but got me interested, so yeah, especially with the bonus stories. I'd say overall I enjoyed that one. The next one, okay, how to put it. What you shouldn't do is you go to order one Junji Ito book and then you're like, hey, you know what would be a really good idea? I'm half asleep, I can barely think, let's just Google, horror manga, and then order stuff that's on that list without really reading the article very well, or deciding, like, investigating the particular books that you'd then pick out by those authors that were recommended. You're just like, yeah, throw it in the cart, I can barely keep my eyes open, let's order stuff and not vet it at all. So don't do that, that's what I'm saying. Don't make early morning Amazon purchases. Or late at night, depending on how you're looking at it. But, next one. By my definition of horror, I would not consider it that, but it's Super Magical Love Gun. I don't know how well you can see that through the glare. It's, I suppose you could say it's body horror, if you want to cringe constantly and be like, then it's the book for you. It's also, well, you see that rating? Yeah, I wouldn't give it to a kid. I'll tell you right now. It's very, very, you see a lot of body parts every page that you don't typically see on television. Sometimes it's played for laughs and it actually does get a laugh out of you. Other times it's played to be gross and it does in fact get a gross response out of you. And sometimes it's just there to be there and you're like, oh, okay. And another few sets of these parts, I suppose. I'm trying to not say them because I don't want this video to get flagged. But it's incredibly over the top. I don't feel like I could either tell you don't get it or do get it, because it's a mixed bag, put it that way. One story in particular, I don't think you should have followed through and made that one, because it's gross to the point that like you want the humor to be here and the grossness to be here, or them to be level or something, but ick factor was very strong on a couple of them, but a few others were, like the one that the collection is named after, Superdimensional Love Gun. There is some stuff in there, but by then you've read through these other stories and you've built up a tolerance and gotten immune to it. And that one so by the time you get to that one, it's just genuinely funny. Like, there's, because all the other stuff, you're like, I don't even know if I can be offended or grossed out by this anymore because I've read through the rest of what you've created, sir. And I don't know. It's a book. And at times it is funny, and at times you feel like a genuine creep for reading it. There's one character in, I forget which story, and it's like, look, I get it. It's a drawing, it's not a real person, and then they even throw that disclaimer in the back of the book that says, you know, despite all appearances, every single character in this story is definitely 18 years or older. But yeah, there's one story where the character does not look like they're 18, and because of that, I'm just like, I don't wanna read this. You're making me feel like a real creep for having read this, even though it's a non-existent person. So, but anyway, the front and back have, horoscopes. And just to give you a taste of what you would get in something like this, let's do the first one here. Taurus. For love life, it says, a Spanish bullfighter will stab you through the heart. Your lucky item is mad cow disease. And your lucky spot is brain surgery. So, anyway, that one, it's a book. The next one I really enjoyed, Through the Woods by Emily Carroll. Well, I want to start by saying that I didn't read this at my house, and that makes a huge difference where you read something or watch something. Like, I feel like probably what would be the scariest horror movie for me ever, and I'm not naming it because this is a hypothetical scenario, and I don't even know what it would be, but I'm saying is that if I was house sitting for somebody, and they lived in the middle of nowhere, and I was just taking care of their dog, it's a little thing that couldn't defend me, you know? It was a scenario like that. I live in the middle of nowhere, and it's very dark, and it's very quiet, and everything is unfamiliar to me. If I sat down in their living room and watched a horror movie in this quiet, unfamiliar setting, it would probably just be the scariest horror movie to me, because I'm alone in this place, and just because of that, automatically ambiance points shoot through the roof. So, I want to say that when it comes to this, is that I was reading it at a home that was not my own, and where I couldn't hear anything but the air conditioning at the time. So that probably helped it be a little scarier than if I were just sitting on my bed with my husband asleep next to me and the cat purring in my lap. So, but, it's, I'm trying to see if I can find, yeah, hey bud. I didn't open the last two because I didn't know what page it would fall open on. Because it was risky enough with, especially the second one, that I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I mean, there's a lot of glare, but that or darn glare. Anyway, visually, it's interesting, and the stories actually creep me out a bit. I don't think it was like to the point that I wasn't going to be able to sleep for 2 weeks or something, but very interesting. And I remember a while back coming across a page or two out of this. I didn't know it was this at the time, but I remember seeing that and me being like, holy smokes, I've got to get my hands on that. I really want to read that. And then something, I don't know, I didn't look it up straight away, and that was my mistake. But I was so pleased when I was reading through this, and I saw that, and I was like, the story's in here. I got really excited, and it is one of the better ones in here as well. If I can throw up an image or two, or of the specific thing, section I'm talking about that caught my attention, I will, but... Anyway, good stuff. This one, I genuinely do recommend this one. So, and I'm not saying a lot, but I've got a lot of these to get through, so I'm gonna linger too long on any of them. Stuff is Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, which it has the picture of her from the TV show. I have not seen the TV show. I've heard that the comic is darker than it. But there, that's the cover that I think I had when because a couple years ago I got Free Comic Day, I got the first volume of this, and I don't know where it is, otherwise I would hold it up too, but, anyway, it's, there, art style, oh, it's interesting. It's a much darker take on Sabrina the Teenage Witch than previous versions of her in different shows and movies and such, but I say movies plural, but she only did, was there only one Sabrina? I don't know. Anyway, I enjoyed it personally. I mean, when I read the first issue, way back when I wanted to get more, but by the time I got into a comic shop again, they were already on like the third or fourth volume, and I was I don't know, I suppose I could have asked, but I don't often ask, so I was just like, well, I just guess I won't be getting that unless I see it somewhere. But oh, it's good. That one's one to check out too.